Daring Duck of mystery, champion of right, swoops out of the shadows, Darkwing of the night. Somewhere some villain schemes.
What's up, you beautiful collectors and action figure fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Funko Disney Afternoon collection of none other than Darkwing Duck. One of my favorite Disney characters of all time actually did have an original vintage line, so it's really cool to get an updated version of him. But what's really neat about Darkwing is that, unlike the other figures that are in this first wave, there are definite repaint options for Darkwing Duck. The other characters in this line so far haven't had alternate color representations as new characters. Darkwing here did. And what's really cool is Funko has actually decided to give us one of them. Now, while they still call him Darkwing Duck, this is in fact meant to homage Negaduck. Now, some time ago when I did the reviews of the Funko Pop Darkwing Duck figures, I gave a bit of a backstory on Negatron. Basically, in one episode, Darkwing was split into a pure positive version of him and a pure negative version. Megavolt used a device, I forgot the name of it, but it split positrons and negatrons. So the positron was the positive and the negatron was this guy. But to get to this full complete look, what this version did was decide to split himself again, which basically concentrated the evil and created this guy. The bad guy version looked like him. I mean, he had different eyes, I think, like red eyes or something, but it still looked like Darkwing. But when he tried to super concentrate his evil, that's when he changed to this color. And in that same episode, he referred to himself as Negaduck. Now, Negaduck, we more kind of associate with the yellow, black, and red outfit that Darkwing wears. That character was brought back and recolored to look like that because they like the idea of having a doppelganger of Darkwing, but evil. But this is that Negatron version. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't put that on the packaging or anything, but you can see that the back of the box here still features the same characters such as Launchpad and Goslin. Really, all they do is consider this a variant of this, but us Darkwing fans, we know. Other than the different color here, there really isn't much different, but I'm going to take a look at both of these guys. But for the packaging, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get these guys out here and see how cool they actually are. Alright, so here we have Darkwing Duck and, well, I guess Darkwing Duck open up and out of their packaging. And I said this with my reviews of the Scrooge McDuck and Baloo figures. These guys literally look like they jumped right off of the screen. I'm absolutely loving how these look. The overall sculpt, the coloring, everything on here just perfectly replicates what Darkwing Duck and, well, Negatron Negaduck look like in the show. Just absolutely spectacular. Now, starting off first with the accessories, because they are just repaints of one another, the guns are exactly the same. This is his gas gun, I guess. They shot gas kind of pellets and it sucked gas, evil doers. But there's that. Now, for a comparison, because, you know, hey, I believe this is the vintage one. I have a hard time remembering because there's so many accessories and his doesn't fit it. But spoiler alert, but I'm guessing there's so many different accessories. I think this is it. I might be wrong. But either way, it kind of sort of looks like it. But the guns are the exact same. It's kind of unfortunate, but there really shouldn't be that much difference because, you know, he is kind of just a doppelganger of Darkwing. As I explained, the Negatron Negaduck was a super concentrated evil side of Darkwing that was split into a good and bad. And then the bad split again to create a super bad guy, which is what he is. So you have that. But taking a look at this, I absolutely love it. One thing that I think they really nailed beautifully is how big his hat is. That was always one thing that was kind of fun about him. He had a big giant hat. Now I am a little bit disappointed that it can't remove. That would have been nice to be able to take that off. it doesn't bother me too much, but I wish they did have it like that. The rest of the suit looks spectacular. You got a gorgeous purple, you got some nice teal underneath, you got the gold buttons. I like how the shirt underneath does come down here at the end of his jacket. You can see some nice white for his hands. I do notice that there is a little bit of, I don't know why this is, but like an off-white color. When I move this around, I don't know how well that's going to come across because it's very white, but it's kind of an off-white color. There's a little bit of yellow in it, but nice detail with the feet. The face looks spectacular. I love it. It's so hard to see because you got that big giant hat. One thing that is kind of weird coming in, you can see a big giant black crease. It's like there's two separate sections here, and the black there that goes across does kind of look weird, but that is a great looking head sculpt as well. Absolutely beautifully recreates Darkwing. I'm just blown away. And again, I love the size of his hat. You got some nice coloring on there. I like his cape a lot as well. It is a softer material, which is perfect. So you can see it moves away. You got some nice pink on the inside there. You got that kind of off purple. I mean, you can see this is purple. This is a slightly different purple on it, but kind of like a powder purple, I guess. I don't know. But absolutely gorgeous. He doesn't hold his weapon as well as I wish it did. It kind of slots in there, but it really easily kind of falls out, and then you can even see on the inside here the black. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see. Let me zoom in here. You can kind of see it's like scuffing the paint on the inside there. That's a little unfortunate to see because you're kind of wedging that in there, trying to get him to hold it. He doesn't really want to. It kind of always wants to just fall down. So you do have to be careful when you're doing it, but overall really nice. Articulation wise, the head, I think it is on a ball joint, except, I mean, you can kind of see there's a little bit of up and down play with it, but I want to say that because of his like turtleneck sort of thing, you lose a lot of that articulation. So all you're really going to get is looking left and right. The shoulders here move outward very nicely. They also rotate about, well, now you can kind of get it going all the way around because, like I said, the cape does kind of move out of the way. So real nice range of motion there. You got a hinge here at the elbow. You can straighten it all the way down, or you can bring it up just like so. He does have a really nice hidden cut here at the kind of hip area, so you can rotate that. One thing I will say about my two figures here were the hips here were completely frozen and locked into place. So what I did was I put it in a freezer for, I don't even know how long it was. It was probably about a good half an hour. And then when I got it out, just worked it and it popped, which was perfect. So really nice. One thing that I'll also mention is getting him to stand is fairly easy, but he is a little bit back heavy, so you will have to kind of balance him a little bit. I tend to want to put him back more so that you can see his face, but in doing so, it's gonna make him, like right here, just completely fall back. So you do have to kind of balance him a little bit more towards the front. It's a little unfortunate. He does have peg holes here, but they don't have any stands with them, so I don't know if that's something that they may release at some point in time, or if that's just a generic sort of peg hole that you can use for any figure. Now, for Negatron Negaduck, again, as you can see, it is the exact same figure. It is just repainted, but it's amazing how black and white and then red eyes can make a figure look evil. I mean, it literally, look how happy he looks. I mean, really happy. I mean, I know it's kind of dark, but really happy, right? This guy, evil, happy, evil. I mean, just look. I mean, that's amazing to me how much, and putting the black in the mouth also really does change the overall look. And that's absolutely spectacular. Now, I did show the Funko Pop one. That one was a glow in the dark. This one doesn't glow in the dark, but I don't mind that really at all. But gorgeous paint on this one as well. He does still have that gun thing. This is actually a little bit better because I don't think it's going to be scraping the paint. But there you have it. I mean, just really awesome. I mean, so wicked cool. Same articulation, none of that changes, but you can see the difference in the colors. And again, I love the red eyes. I mean, I know it's hard to see because it's not getting really down in there. I mean, the only way that I could think that these figures could be improved would be is if you could remove the helmets. That's something that I do, or not the helmet, the hat. That's something that I really wish that you could do. Now, for a size comparison, as I said, there was a vintage line for Darkwing Duck, and I, of course, have them. And here is the original Terror that flapped in the night. You can see similar look. You do kind of have to balance this guy a little bit forward as well. Similar look. You can see that the new guys are a little bit smaller, but much more accurate in terms of a color representation. And you can even see the beak is much different looking in terms of, well, it's not all that much different. I mean, it is much more upward pronounced than this guy's, but again, I mean, I do like the size. You did have the gimmick where you can, well, let's see if I can, you can have his hat pop up like that. That was kind of cool. Bringing in Goslin for another size comparison in case you wanted to display your other figures with Goslin. She definitely is a little bit too big to be, you know, related. Well, they're not related. I mean, she's like an adopted daughter, but I mean, I do like the size of these guys, but there's not a real good scale between, you know, the vintage figures and these ones. And we saw that with the Tailspin figures. It just doesn't really fit. But one thing that I do really like is you can see just how small Darkwing's original hat was, and it doesn't like staying centered, but you can see how small his original hat is compared to how big it really should be. It is a much more accurate looking representation. Now, one thing that I also want to do, because I love this, I have also my vintage rat catcher. I don't get to bring a lot of this stuff out. So let's see how well this fits. I don't think he's, I mean, the ankle or hip articulation is like exactly the same as the original one. You can see it just swiveled out like that. So, I mean, you basically got the same kind of thing here. So, straightening out his arms, I mean, you could kind of still do that if you wanted. I think it's a little bit bigger, but honestly, that doesn't look bad. I don't really think it does. You can kind of just position the hands up there, and you can do that. And hey, let's take Goslin. Let's get her little hands in there, and you can sit her in there like that. I mean, hey, that's not bad, right? I mean, that's kind of cool. I might actually use that. To be totally honest, it doesn't look all that bad. I do have the Thunderquack, but I'm not going to pull that out. I have that balanced on a little clear display, which is a pain in the butt to try to get it to balance on that. So I'm not pulling out the Thunderquack. Maybe someday, maybe if they give us a launch pad figure, I'll pull out the Thunderquack, because he always flew around in the Thunderquack. So these guys are terrific. Again, I do not know if they're going to do more, but I would love to get more characters like this. And I don't know why, especially here with Darkwing, why, I mean, they're giving us Negaduck, why they just couldn't repaint this into the yellow, black, and red and give us the full-on Negaduck. I don't know. It's definitely something that I think they could do. Will they? Who knows? I don't know. But these guys are great. They really are. They're fun. They are accurate looking. I cannot give the folks over at Funko enough credit. I have no idea if they're ever going to see these videos that I do, but thank you, Funko. These are figures that I have wanted almost my entire life. And I really do hope that you guys continue on with these. They are just so much fun. So all that being said, if these are figures that you'd like to add to your collection, I'm not 100% certain which stores they're available at, but I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store. So if you'd like to add them to your collection as well, I'll put a link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on these guys, as well as the rest of the wide range of Funko figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, I would really appreciate you letting me know by hitting that thumbs up button. It does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, hey, if you're new here, welcome. And before you go, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, do me a real quick favor and click on that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, be excellent to each other.
Nobody knows for sure. Bad guys are out of luck. Here comes Darkwing Duck. Look out! When there's trouble, you call DW. Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.